Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thanks so much for tuning in as always. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys some tips and tricks for Nikke, Goddess of Victory, and basically what you should be looking out for when you're first starting the game. I started about 24 hours ago and made a ton of mistakes already. And my goal with this video is to spend about 20 minutes making it, but hopefully save you guys a lot more than that in your own time when you're playing the game as well. So if I do help out, of course, leave a like, comment down below what helped, and also subscribe. So to get into it though, the first thing that I did when I first started playing, and it's pretty common for a lot of games like this. Obviously, I've been playing hero collector games for a long time. If you guys know, I've been a YouTuber for quite some time, and now I'm just getting back into it for this game. But it's something called re-rolling, and basically, if you guys aren't aware of it, you take initially when you first start out, you get an abundance of resources that are typically more because you just completed your tutorial to get you involved in the game quicker. It's more pulls, rolls, scrolls, whatever you want to call them. And what you do is you pass the tutorial, get those scrolls, pull them, see if you get anything good. And if you don't, log out, create a new account, reset your account. Either way, basically start over and continuously do that until you get the units that you want. For me, I had no idea what units I actually wanted. So I had to do some research and figure out what units are the better units in the game. And really there's one main unit that is the overall best starter, and that unit's called Scarlet. So after about 5 minutes of research, I knew that she was the unit that I needed, right? So I didn't really care about the other units. I figured any other unit I could probably get pretty easily. I even figured Scarlet I could get pretty easily, but I just decided that I, kind of want to be a little bit free to play for now. I don't know if I want to spend a whole bunch of money in this game, but I do know that I want to play it and give it my best shot. I'll probably spend money at some point because that's what I do. I typically whale on these types of games, but for now, let's keep it free to play and be efficient. Just because I can spend money doesn't mean I necessarily want to. So I re-rolled for Scarlet. It took me 13 re-rolls. Didn't really take that long. It was kind of an annoying process though, so do with that what you guys will. Another friend of mine decided that he didn't want to re-roll at all. He didn't, and then he got Scarlet within like a few summons after he actually passed the tutorial and continued on in his gameplay. So I think that's kind of lucky, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. I would say if you have the time, if you're not really eagerly looking to play it, you might as well wait and do your rerolls. There's a ton of other guides out there that actually tell you how to reroll. If you guys want to see one from me, go ahead and leave a comment down below, but they're pretty easy and pretty straightforward. So reroll until you get a Scarlet. She's awesome. If you've already passed that point, the next tip is for you. So the one thing that I was like, okay, I wanted to reroll till I got a Scarlet. Great. So what's the first thing that I always do in these types of games? I always pump all of my resources into that one unit. And I had my Scarlet up to like level 70. And I was like, why am I still failing a lot of these campaign missions? And it's because that this game doesn't necessarily work the same way as other games. Unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way, but it wasn't really that bad. So if you're like me and you have your Scarlet, or you have your main unit that you like fully pumped out to like level 70, level 80, 120, whatever it might be, you can just hit this little reset level button, get all the resources back that you put into it, and then you want to spread them across your first 5 units. There's a couple reasons why. It goes over in the tutorial, but of course nobody watches the tutorial, especially if you're doing it 13 times like I did. It all just becomes white noise. And if you've played other games like this in the past as well, it's just white noise. A lot of people I know that are watching this love the storyline, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to learn the mechanics. You might be interested in the storyline, you might be interested in just progression, but mechanics is like something that is it's not for everybody, right? So I had to learn the hard way. I didn't listen to the tutorial. But basically, what you want to do is get your main 5 units up to equal levels, and then you're going to head over to your synchronization post in your outpost, your synchronization device, synchro device. And it's actually a really nice system in the game, and I kind of like the way they did this. But basically, you're going to always just level 5 units, always. And then you're going to bring them into the synchronization unit. And if you have 5 units at level, or 4, let's say you have 4 units at level 55, and then you have your lowest level unit. So for me, it's Drake at level 54. Any unit that you put in here, if it's level 1 or 0 or whatever, is going to go up to the lowest level of your top 5 units. Okay, it's pretty cool because then you don't have to add resources for all these other ones. Of course, skills and those types of things, gear, they don't transfer over to your other units. So you have to just be mindful of who you're using your skill resources on, like leveling up their skills. So be careful about that. And also, if you're like me and don't read and you just click on this and want to remove it because you want to put another unit in there, like say you pulled another SSR that was better than Diesel, which is the one that they give you right off the bat. I didn't read, so 2 hours ago, hour 45 minutes ago, I removed Diesel, and I was going to put my other one in there, and then I didn't realize that I had to wait 4 hours. So just be careful and be aware of the units that you put in here. You're going to have a 4-hour wait if you go to remove them. So remove them before you go to bed, remove them, or just keep one open if you're planning on summoning soon and you know that you're going to want to swap one in and out. But this for me helped me progress past my first wall, which I don't even know. It was probably like four something. I shouldn't have been at that wall. And if you're at that wall, just try this. Because the way that the the power system works is a little bit weird, and you just want them all equal level. And especially because of this helps too. So don't pump the one unit. That's my main advice there. The other thing that you're going to want to do is really just try to squeeze everything you can almost out of everything without using all of your resources. And I know that sounds it sounds like a mouthful, but it also sounds like common sense. But basically, don't waste the resources that you're getting on things that you're going to swap out quickly or very soon. For example, skills. Going back to skills, if we come over to a unit such as, let's say, Mary, I don't think I plan to use Mary for a while, so I'm probably not going to spend skill points on her, because I'm probably going to either buy recruitments, or I might just get a better recruitment than her, or just swap her out in general. She's not necessarily always going to be in my team. Someone like Scarlet will always be in my team. I don't think there's a situation where I would say it's better to have a unit that's not Scarlet here. So any situation in the game, I'm probably going to have Scarlet. Therefore, I don't even look at any of their units' skills to level up if I don't already have Scarlet's skills leveled up. And that's kind of the same thing with equipment too. Like, for example, I have white boots here. I'm probably not going to level those up because, again, resources, they can get pretty grim. So I leveled up the tier 3s. Even that could be questionable if you want to do that or not. I did mine, for example, here. This is a tier 4 that I haven't gotten a chance to upgrade yet because, again, going back to things that you're going to swap out, I probably spent all my resources on the tier 3 upgrade, so I probably don't have anymore. So just keep that in mind, right? You want to make sure you're using resources on things that you're going to be using for a long time. The other thing that you're going to want to do is, again, pretty common sense, but anytime there's a little dot on anything, you're going to want to click on it, because that probably means you can claim something or do a mission or something like that, right? So even this little flirt with your unit Bumble type thing here, I never clicked on this for a while, and I'm glad that I didn't because it's extremely uncomfortable. The conversations that it has you have, for example, the one with uni is interesting. I'll just leave it at interesting. And I mean, to each their own, but for me, it was kind of strange. So the idea though is anytime you see a little bubble across anything, click on it. Do your daily missions. Okay, that goes without being said. I hope. Do your weekly missions, do your main missions, your challenges, right? Like anytime you feel stuck, go back and look at your missions. Like it's pretty straightforward in that sense. As far as your inventory is concerned, from those missions, you're going to get different, consumables. Be careful with your consumables for the same reasons that I was going over previously. This box, for example, I'm not really sure which code manual selection box I'm going to need in the future. I know I don't need them right now. They're for skills or higher level skills. I think I need them for Scarlet, but I don't have all the pieces for that anyway, so I'm not going to claim them. I don't think this has a timer on it, so I can just keep it in here forever from the looks of it. I could be wrong, but I've been playing these games long enough to know that it should be in there forever. There's other ones, credits. Claim your credits because those just turn into other resources that you can use for leveling up your units. Leveling up your units is like super, super important. So if you think like one level isn't going to make a difference, it actually could make a difference. So even if you feel like you're stuck or like capped out, go back and level up your units and try it again because it might actually work. So speaking of getting stuck, the way I approach it is I auto everything until I can't. And then if I can't, then I auto it again. And then if I can't auto it twice and I fail twice, then I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll try manualing it because I don't think my manual is better than my auto. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'll be honest. I don't think my manual is better than auto. I think they use their skills. I tend to forget to use my skills quite often. But timing your skills, timing your full burst, timing those things can definitely help you pass around, making sure that you're targeting the boss or like, you know, there's some stages where you're timing out because you're not killing the boss in time, so then you're going to want to switch out for some of your other damage dealing units. I don't think I need to explain damage dealing versus like tanks and stuff like that. It's should be straightforward, but I'll give you guys a brief rundown on how that works. Essentially this is an attacker, so it's going to do more damage than somebody like a supporter. Supporter is going to be more of like buffing or debuffing the enemy units, where attackers are most likely just going to be dealing damage, and that's based on their stats, that's based on their skills, that's based on their whole kit overall, right? So keep those things in mind while you're building your team and picking the units that you want to use in your team. So if you have SSR units, maybe you don't have 5 SSR units, maybe you have 3, that's probably typical, or you have 2. You have your Scarlet plus your Diesel, or you have one other SSR and you didn't reset and you've already played through the game. Well, you can probably still decide if you want to go back, reset, and try to get Scarlet, or you might be kind of stuck for a bit until you get some better units, because unfortunately this game is very unit dependent. So keep that in mind. Maybe go reset. Unless you've spent money on the game already, then you're probably fine. You're probably fine. But if you're trying to build out your team, for me personally right now, I'm just using all SSR units. I don't have enough time to look at every single unit in the game to realize like what they do. But if you're trying to be a little bit more creative, take a look. Make sure you have a well-rounded team, except for making sure that they work together for the campaign that you're attempting to kill. For example, if you're timing out and not killing things, then you're going to want to add more attackers. If you're dying too fast and not killing anything because you're dead, then you might want to add some more supporters or some more tanks. If you are going to a campaign stage where all the units are super far away, or if it says, for example, efficiency it has a range efficiency on the actual campaign itself. So I'll just pull it up here so you guys can see. It has a range efficiency. So this one says it's 59% short range. 41% are going to be mid-range. So this is like assault rifles. This is more SMGs and shotguns. And then this long range is going to be more, sniper rifles. So there's not going to be a whole lot of need for snipers in this stage. So I can swap out some potential snipers for some shotguns. If the weak point is water, I can make sure I have all my water units in here as well. So like, for example, I know that I have Vesti, who can easily swap out for Drake because it's also a 3rd level skill as well, because you want those to be, you want 1, 2, and 3 in your team as well. So there's a lot of different like nuances that go into building your team. I don't need to get too in depth for it right now, but just understand that you want to be aware of what each unit does to make sure that they mesh well together, and then also have the outcome that you particularly want. If you keep failing on a certain level and you decided to search a beginner guide because you're actually interested in progressing throughout the game, then you're probably already light years ahead of everybody else who just decided to quit or wait till the next day. So if you're actually trying to actively research how to beat certain things, then you're probably good. That probably means you've already looked at the units that you have and you know what they do, and you're maybe doing some theory crafting to see if you can actually get past a certain stage, or if you're legitimately stuck until the next day's reset. So going back to or piggybacking off of the next day's reset, one thing you guys want to kind of keep an eye out for is your outpost defense. And so this, you're going to want to clear sort of closer to the end of the day. The end of the day for me resets at 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to be super sweaty, you're going to, claim this and wipe them out a couple times as well. If you want to do that closer to the end, because it is based on your level. Like I'm level 14. So the amount that you get per minute is going to increase the higher level that you are in your stage clear count. So the idea is that you're going to progress throughout the day. At the very end of the day, you'll go ahead and cash out. For me, I'm not super sweaty like that. I'd rather just pay to win. No, I'm just kidding. So you could do that right at the end of the day, but you don't want to miss it, right? So if, for example, you go into your arc where there's another daily thing, and it's called interception, which is essentially like a world boss. If you're familiar with that, you just do as much damage as you can. You get rewarded for the more damage that you deal. It's nothing special. It's in a lot of other games that are like this. And the thing with this is, if you do this during the beginning of the day, you're going to have an exponential amount of growth in the early game throughout the day itself, that you're going to want to do it at the end of the day to get the maximum that you possibly can. Because you're going to be, instead, like for me, I made this mistake as well, even though I already know this, I still did this. I was like level 20 or 30, I was just progressing as I could, and then I was like, whatever came up, I just did it because I didn't really care that much. But I did it like my units were like level 30. Now they're at level 50, and I had already done it for the day. I probably could have gotten like 1 million damage more just because of the progression that I was. Probably could have even been more than 1 million damage, but that's basically it. I haven't done it today because I'm now going to wait till tomorrow. But again, it would be worse if you miss it than to not do it at all. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to time things. I used to have like timers set up on other games for when I should be doing it. There's a timer here, but you can just set like a phone timer to say, hey, log in and do your interception. And that's super super sweaty stuff, but it's up to you, to each their own. Simulation room, just do that daily. Do all of your daily missions, do all of your weekly missions. It's going to feel like a job at some times, but those are just the beginner tips. You don't have to. It's not the end of the world, but obviously that's where your progression is going to happen, is on a daily basis, is the things that are going to take you time to progress through and casually play. You can bypass those with, going to the cash shop and buying gems or, packs or whatever. So I was kind of looking at this to see which ones I would buy if I were to buy them. Obviously, like the daily supply is pretty common. There's like a mission pass that I'd probably like pick up as well. Those are like the basic things. These ones, eventually, like if I were to play this for a couple years, obviously all these first purchase gifts would be gone, because you get just double. I don't know if I would buy this 6,200 gems for $80. I don't know if I would buy that if it didn't have the bonus. I'd probably stick to like some of these other things. Or, I mean, there's people out there, I'm sure, that are watching this video that would just buy all of them. So to each their own on that. But I noticed that these like daily, weekly, the monthly ones are probably going to be better just because you can only buy them every month versus I can buy this daily. Like if I'm spending, I don't know, like $50 a day on this game and wiping all of these out every single day, I mean, they're probably not that high value, right? Weekly is probably a little higher value than the daily. Monthly is probably a little higher value than the weekly. And then your first purchase or one-time only packs, like these ones here, first purchase, these ones are going to be, probably your highest value. If I was to spend $100 right now, I'd probably still be looking for more Nikkes because there's a couple units that I'm still missing. One of them being volume, because she just looks awesome, for one. Two is leader, the other one's Ludmilla, the other one's like Haran. Some other pilgrims would be cool. They're like the LD units, or like the more rare units of the rare units. I just think those would be cool to have. So I'm still planning on recruiting, summoning for now. If I were to buy things, I'm also kind of looking at this one because it has a tier 5 equipment, which I feel like could help, but overall not really too interested. More so interested in the SSR units and building out my team and having, basically I want 5 units that are all Scarlets that I can just say, okay, this is my, like, these are my go-to units, and I know that I'm going to be using them for ever and ever and ever. Kind of like I said, so that way I can just freely put resources into them without having to feel guilty about it. So that's typically how I look at spending money, is going through and saying, okay, do I have all the units that I want? No? Okay, then I'm probably going to go for summons or pulls. If I have all the units that I want, yes, then I'll probably go for like value things and say, all right, well, if I have, 5 really good units that I already know that do I need to get their limit break? Would that be cool? Sure. But let's go for value instead. So instead, I'm going to get maybe that like gear one with the tier 5, this monthly thing. I might get some things to like level them up. Some of these other like credits for growth packages to actually make them better, get them closer to like their top level. So really, I think that's what it comes down to, in what you prioritize. And if you're fine with the units that you have, I feel like you're going to get units kind of by default anyway, because the rates are pretty good in this game. I think I had like 2 10-pack pulls in a row where I got 2 SSR units. And so basically I got 4 SSR units that were all unique in 20 pulls. And I was like, okay, this is pretty straightforward as it stands. So it might be something where instead you're more focused on the actual growth. So hopefully that helps you out. There's not like a whole lot of options, which is kind of nice. Like there's not a whole lot of stuff that you can spend money on. Like this thing, $20 for 8, 16, 24, 32 plus 1,000, so 4,200 gems for $20. That's like basically 20 pulls. 20 pulls for $20. It's not like life changing. Obviously, you continue getting rewards all the way up to excuse me, chapter 10. So it could be higher value at the end of the day, but yeah, it could be higher value. So overall, though, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't want to make this super in depth of every specific thing. This video is meant to be like a overall first look, kind of just getting your feet wet, things that you don't really want to miss, type thing. For the most part, just you want to make sure that you're enjoying it. Don't have it be a job, because that is not fun. If it's a job, why are you playing? Like, you're a masochist, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, if this video helped you guys out, I'll ask again, if you can, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below, or subscribe and comment down below. Comment though, because I haven't made videos in a while. This is my first one back in a very long time, and I am looking to get back into YouTube content. I actually started a shoe company called MLO.shoes. If you guys want to check out some shoes, I'll be doing some giveaways for shoes. I'll be picking just random people who comment in the comment section to send shoes to. So hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. But anyway, thanks so much. As always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right.